Peace, everybody. I hope y'all doing well today. Well, tonight. Let's get some messages. So I want to talk about healing and the residue left over from, you know, what's needing to be cleared out. So what I'm seeing here with the Ace of Swords, this is you cutting through what's needing to be cut through. Spirit is saying it's time for you to cut a cord or something. There's some cords that need to be cut. And this is like, I feel like there's like lingering energy that's hanging on, you know, with the Hangman here. This is someone who's hanging on to some disappointment that has happened. I do feel like there is a person who is closing out a cycle. They're, you know, with the Fool card here, this is a person who's on a new journey. They're beginning something new. Maybe you have stepped into your authentic self, and you could be placed in like a position where you may feel that you're stuck, but really you're not. I do feel like there's a cycle that's closed out where you gain clarity. So you gain clarity to move on. But with the World card here, what I'm seeing here is like this definitely a cycle that you've completed successfully. And you've gotten your clarity. However, there is leftover residue when it comes to some sort of emotion that you have after, like what I'm seeing here, like this is the aftermath. The song I'm getting is After the Morning After. But anyway, with that said, you know, there is disappointment that is here because, you know, you actually went through a lot. What I'm seeing here is that there is someone who's went through a lot. There is a lot of people who go through a lot. Okay, so this is not for a specific person. This is for anybody that it resonates with. Okay, this is a general reading. So what I'm seeing here is that, you know, all is not lost. Even though you feel like a lot of the cups in front of you have been, you know, knocked over. What I'm still seeing is that there are two cups in the back that are standing up. And these cups are still filled. You got to turn around and you got to hold these cups up and you got to recognize them. You got to recognize that you still gained something out of this experience, even though you may feel a little disappointed in how things have come. Because what I feel like is maybe some people feel like, I just heard a download, like I just heard you get over things easily, and that's not the case, you know. So if anyone feels as if like you have moved on without any feeling, you know, this is what gets people upset, because there are not many people that know how to like break something, like end a cycle. Like you successfully ended a cycle that no longer served you. With the Fool card, like you freed yourself from this. Okay, so even though it shows like it expresses some sort of innocence in this journey that you've had, not saying that you were always innocent. What I'm saying is like the experiences that you had were caused you to be innocent to whatever you had to learn from, whatever you had to grow from. These were cycles that you had to end successfully. So, you know, the World card to me can also represent a karmic cycle that has been completed. This is something that, you know, I see, I see like clouds here in this World card, where you went through a lot of, you know, the clouds, they look a little dark. So you went through like dark experiences. You know, you rose up. You had to be in your masculine and your feminine energy. I'm seeing here that you completed this successfully. So, you know, even though the World card represents a sense of belonging, maybe you did not feel like you belong. Maybe in some experiences, but overall, what you feel like is maybe that time had wasted. So with the Hangman, it's like Dang, like all that for nothing. Song download I got earlier was I've been working on the railroad. So this is experiences that you feel like you've worked on, successfully, but maybe you feel like you didn't get nothing out of it. You actually did. You got a lesson. You ended the cycle successfully. And so, there are times when you have to like be still. This is energy of peace. Be still, because unfortunately there are not a lot of people who know how to heal. And I feel like you've grown accustomed to learning how to heal. Even though you may not look for this experience, what I'm seeing here is that there are cycles where you have to go within and you have to really sit in your emotions. You got to really feel out the emotions that you are experiencing, that you have experienced. And I don't see that you're giving up on yourself. I just see that, there's disappointment in the loss that you thought. Like, so there could be some sadness here. There could be some regret here. There could be you letting go and you gaining a perspective of hope, knowing that even though these experiences made you feel a way, what it's showing me is that you are continuously going to be loyal to yourself, loyal to your journey. This came out in the reverse, but it's because I didn't put all my cards. I should have put all of my cards up in the reverse. In the upright. So what I'm seeing here is like, you're having to be patient with yourself. Like, you're your whole new experiment now. You're your whole new project now. So there are people like you who have come out of seasons where, you literally have to invest time in yourself, where you're sitting in some sort of sadness and happen to experience these feelings. This is how you heal. You have to recognize what the pain is so that you can get through it. And I see that you're working through it as you go through it. So with the Knight of Pentacles, this is not you giving up on yourself. This is you gaining patience for yourself and still having perseverance to continue to move forward. Okay, so you're looking for opportunities for yourself now. And this is not like, I'm not talking about the tangible. I'm talking about mental clarity, grounded clarity, like being grounded, being sufficient in self. The wands represent someone who like power to me. The wands is fire energy. This is someone who has passion when it comes to life. So not only passion when it comes to life and what you can maintain or attain out of life, this is the experience that you hold within. Because even though this may be a human experience, even though this is you're a spiritual being having a human experience. So this is spiritual, okay? This is about spiritual development. And what I'm seeing here is like, you are learning to gain passion for yourself within. This is a passion. This is a spark that you have to have within. But you got to work through this sadness that you're going through, because it is a sadness of disappointment of how you may have been in cycles that weren't really working out. Confirmation. So we have the Knight of Pentacles here. Continuing to work on yourself, continuing to love thyself, continuing to be loyal to thyself. This is what it's about, So continuing to grow is what you're doing, because again, it's always about growing. It's always about development. You can't be the same person you were yesterday. It's always an experience. There's a transformation that's happening. This is you wanting to rise and be your best self. Okay, it's all about being your best self. Even though you're being seen, you could be seen by others, or don't make it about others. Your success comes within your healing. You're having full advantage of becoming your best self within. Okay? This is not about a power play relationship with yourself. This is about getting connected to your most highest self. Definitely overcoming, definitely gaining victory. You're confident at this time. You're in leadership when it comes to yourself. Like, you're your own leader. You're your own leader. But it could be recognized by people, but that's not your intention. Your intention is solely to gain recognition for yourself, to validate your own self. And this is this is the transformation that you're having. So you're transforming. Confirmation, you're transforming and you're continuing to move forward. So you're on top of the wheel, continuing to be your best self. And this looks like the high priest on top of the wheel. So it's like, you not only are you like gaining victory and confidence at this time, what I'm also seeing here is that you're learning more about yourself. You're more intuitive. You're more there's more, like, you've opened another portal when it comes to who you are. Your life's portal. Like, there are some people who may be stuck in certain portals that they've not gotten out of certain portals. What I'm seeing here is like a whole new portal for yourself is being opened. You're discovering something real, something new. And what I'm seeing here is that it's to the point where the celestial beings that you have, if you ever tap into the celestial beings that are around you, they're also guiding you and watching you. These are celestial beings that are currently watching and looking over you. Like, they're watching you. They're assisting you in making the wheel turn. Okay? They're watching you and making the wheel turn. I'm just seeing here, like, you got a lot of protection around you. A lot of knowledge. You could be reading a new book, gaining more clarity, gaining more truth about self. And I'm seeing here, even though the devil is at the bottom, it's like you're squashing the devil. You're squashing that lower part of yourself. Not saying that you don't need that lower part. You know, that's important. But it's the higher self that you're connected to. Like, it's like Christ consciousness, you know. This is very powerful. So, let's see. What else, Spirit? Okay. So we got the Knight of Swords. So you're moving on. Your departure, and you're moving on. There could be changes that are coming real fast for you. Very swiftly. Okay. And this is mentally, like, we're talking about mental, you know, not anything attainable at this time. What I'm seeing here is like your mental clarity is real fast. Like, I feel like the third eye has opened up even wider. Because I'm gonna give y'all I'm gonna tell y'all what happened to me. So last night I could not sleep because I could feel it was a very intense energy, and Spirit did not want me to sleep. Spirit wanted me to stay up. I stayed up. I really ain't got no sleep because the energy was so intense. I could feel like my third eye is like wide open. It's like bust wide open. So I could feel everything. I could hear a lot. You know, it may not be like it's clear, but it's like if you can imagine yourself in a room or a hall full of people, that's all I could hear is like people talking. It's just like a whole lot of people in the hallway talking. And you know, like when the school bell rings, like ding, whoo, and people just clear the hallway. That's how it feels right now. Spirit was transforming me. There was like a lot of you may have felt it. Like, if you're on this level of if you're on this level for real, you may have went through a new portal. That's what I'm seeing here. There is even like yesterday, I pulled the card. I pulled one of these cards where it's like you're being initiated to another level. So this is Spirit working on your mental state, because you have to be in a certain power in order to be on this type of level in your life. So you can't go to the next level without certain experiences. Certain experiences you have to have. It's reasons why certain people act certain ways. There's reasons why there are people who may show controlling habits. There are reasons why, because this is spirit elevating you to the next level. And as you're elevating, you have to go through these experiences. No one is exempt. No chosen being is exempt from this experience. And this is spirit getting you ready mentally. Okay? So you're transforming. There is a new chief in town, or however they say that. Okay? Oh, look at that. So what I'm seeing here is the high priest and the empress. High priest empress energy is you feeling full aware of the pain that has happened. So you are very sensitive to people's energy. You're very, very sensitive to people's energy and what they bring. And you bring love and agape. Like, you bring a lot of agape love. You bring so much love. Okay, and you're very intuitive. You know thyself. You trust thyself. You have spiritual insight. And you got a lot of wisdom and knowledge. You know, you've developed very, very high. Like, you're in a very high ranking in your spirituality. And you had to go, in order for you to go through this level, you gonna have to go through like certain barriers. This is another barrier. This is another barrier that you're gonna have to go through. Okay? So what I'm seeing here is the pain of a water sign. So you're very intuitive and you can feel other people's emotions. You know, you could feel the pain of other people's emotions. You're at this point where you could tell when people are playing and when people are not. Like, you could literally see like certain things when it comes to like the spirits on people. Like, that's where spirit is wanting you to be. Like, spirit is wanting you to be in a space where if a person ain't right, you gonna be able to see a red X on the top of their head. You know, this is where spirit is. Like, this is like warning signs. So this is you gaining clarity, you know, gaining spiritual awareness, spiritual insight. This is like, what I'm seeing is like the Most High God tuning you up, giving you another tune up. And I keep hearing after the morning after. We're going to read that lyric, okay? So we got the Chariot in the reverse. So forcefulness, lack of direction, lack of self-control, powerlessness, aggression. So let's get some information. What is this in regards to spirit? Why do we have this information? Why do we have this card? Thank you. So because of you and where you are, like, you're heightening your ability to see clearly, feel clearly. Like, God is giving you ammunition. God is tuning you up really, really well. And this could be causing people to feel left behind. This could be causing people to feel lack within themselves. Someone could be feeling out of control when it comes to like the control that they once had or something. This is a person who could feel really stuck. And they could be in a very, like, God is getting you amplified is what I'm seeing. Confirmation. Amplified for this type of energy here. Because you cannot, like, the cycles that you've ended, you have to develop higher in order to deal with energy that is like very possessive, obsessive. This is what you're not dealing with anymore. So with the Four of Cups, this is you, like I'm just seeing here, like, you're taking full control of your life, and you're knowing what cups that you're not wanting to give to people. You're not giving like that, you know, and this could be upsetting to some people. This is someone who could be feeling regret that you're not taking their cup. Okay, they could feel like they're losing control. Okay, because what I see here is someone feeling like what they have is an opportunity. I'm seeing new opportunities for you though. Okay, new opportunities for you. Emotionally balanced. Very, very highly driven spiritually. And there is a call on judgment. So people who are like not in alignment and that have like issues with control or like issues with like holding on to things and people or whatever it is, it's the judgment of stop it. Like it's the judgment of stop it. It's the judgment of letting go. It's a judgment of releasing. It's a judgment of someone needing to have a spiritual awakening on why things are the way that they are. Okay, so this is the Most High God being very decisive about what journey you're on and what you're being led into. See, the thing is, your ancestors are very, very they're very in tune, and they're very in tune, and your ancestors are very they're with you. And they have been waiting for this moment. Like the song I'm getting is, I wish that I can have this moment for life. So your ancestors have been waiting for this moment for a long time. And I'm just seeing here that you could have possibly broken some sort of cycle, some sort of karmic pattern in your life where your ancestors are able to elevate. And this is what the Most High God has been waiting for. So there is trumpets that are being blown like, dun, 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 dun. Like we have another chosen being that has hit a higher level. So this is your protection being taken to a higher level. And there could be someone wanting to like losing control, trying to keep control of what the Most High God is calling you in for. So it's like what I'm getting is there being a bunch of people on the line and the bouncer is not letting certain people in the club. And it's like, you can't get in the club because you didn't come dressed right, but on this level it's like you didn't gain your spiritual garment yet. There is still work that you have to do. There are still karmic cycles that you're still stuck in. There is still a lot of healing that you have not done, and the trumpet has blown on a lot of people. So at this time there's definitely judgment that is happening, and there are people that can be feeling a little left behind. There are people who could be feeling naked too. It's an energy of like some people feeling like exposed for where they are, and they could be comparing your journey to where you are and where they are, and they should not do that. Unfortunately, like what I'm seeing here is this, like everyone is on a different journey. Everyone is in a different, even though we all may have went to school. Like I will always say, like someone would get an A and I would get a C. You know what I'm saying? But you just have to keep studying to, get an A. And I feel like this is what someone needs to do. They're needing to learn how to gain self-control and self-love. They're needing to learn how to release. They're needing to learn how to balance. They got to heal. So there's some healing that we all have to do. But everyone's just on their own level spiritually. And the trumpets are blowing. The trumpets are really, really loud. And there could be people who are mad because you've actually made it to a higher level. With the 9 of Pentacles, this is a very powerful level that you're in. And there could be people who are conflicted with that, because what I'm saying is like some people didn't expect it to be you. Like, why you? And it shouldn't be like that, because if you are saying why you, then why not you? Because if you're saying why you or why him or why her, then you got to look at yourself and say, why not you? So it's like some people, they could be upset or feeling defeated because you made it up another level. But again, there is opportunity here for someone else to get on this level. They're going to have to go through the same things that you went through. And again, we are humans having a, we're humans having, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me say it right. You are a spiritual being having a you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So everyone is having an experience. But this person here who's having an experience, they're in a very negative experience. This is an experience of control. This is a very low vibration. Like when we're talking about 666, or let's not, someone needs to get in alignment. But also when we're talking about like you reaching your higher self, there is something that needs to be let go of. Someone wants control, but they're all over the place with this energy. It's giving a little slappy, like this is slappy energy, and someone's like out of control. There needs to be balance here where, like, if you're going to represent the 666 energy, you got to embody that for real. Like, there has to be balance here. Because what I'm seeing here is that someone is just wanting gain. It's just about gain, material gain. And I mean, what I'm seeing here is like, now that you reached a certain level, you're able to attain certain opportunities in your life that's going to help you. And this is what someone could be stressing about. This is someone analyzing you. They're seeing where you are. Okay? This is what someone's constantly thinking about. They're thinking about this. And I'm also seeing here that they could be like trying to figure out, where do they start? You got to start by stepping into where you are at that point. I like this for someone. I like this for someone because while you're resting, you're actually like, when you're in this position of rest, there could be a lot of fear, anxiety, a feeling of being overwhelmed. That's the best place to be in at times, because you're literally needing to like figure something out. Because like when I'm in the energy of this, like, just because there are people who may be on a higher level in their spirituality doesn't mean that they're not ever in this type of energy here. It's just that you have to learn how to balance that. And so what I'm seeing here is that, or what I'm saying is, when you are in a place of fear, you have to recognize where those fears come from. Because remember, fear is not real. I'm learning to say it won't always be like this. It can't be like this forever. Somebody got to change. Somebody got to have common sense here, Somebody got to, wake up. Maybe it just has to be me to wake up. Maybe it has to be you or you, but Spirit is saying that you have to analyze those emotions that you have, and you got to rest in that. You got to take accountability for that fear. You got to recognize that, where you got to recognize where the fear is coming from. Then you got to gain control of that fear. Because with the Chariot in reverse, this is someone who's losing control. Someone's lost control of their will. They're feeling like they're not in control anymore. Someone's feeling like they like, even the energy of someone that got away. Like maybe, it's like a police chase where someone's car flipped flipped on his back or something like that. This is you having to literally gain control of your life, because this is energy of lack and misdirection. Like, I'm seeing here that someone's out of control. They're feeling powerless, okay? And they could be feeling very aggressive at this time. This is not a good energy to be in. You got to call back your power. So when you're losing power, it's because you're trying to gain too much control. The power is not in trying to control other people. The power is within you. So you gain power when you realize that you validate yourself, not others. Your validation doesn't come from people. However, some people need to be around people in order to gain validation. So what I'm seeing here is like, a water sign that's looking like actually trying to do the work to heal. This is a person who's wanting to start their healing journey. They're trying to figure out where can they start? Like, where do they go? So yeah. And then I'm also getting the energy. I just heard someone say, this person doesn't want to be around me because I'm not where they are. Well, it's not like that. You know, what it is when you elevate to like a higher levels, there sometimes, I don't want to speak for all, but some, like everybody, like, you know, there are families that can just tolerate certain experiences with their loved ones. There's a lot of disastrous issues that go on in friendships or any relationship, even like a marriage or, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend situation. Some people are able to tolerate very low vibrational things that are not really fulfilling. And we grow accustomed to like dysfunction. And what I'm seeing here is like a kettle that is whistling really, really loud. And, you know, someone realizing like this shit ain't normal. So some people are not in that energy of just playing it cool. Like, you're actually in this space where you're wanting to like be your authentic self. You're wanting to have true fulfillment. And there are people who may be wanting to control that. But the issue is like, someone needs to like gain control of their life. You know, they're feeling like powerless, but they're losing their power by trying to control you. They're losing their power by trying to empower themselves by controlling you. This person needs to like release, do some cord cutting and release. Okay, so we got the Justice card and we got the two of cups. So I'm just seeing here that you're gonna have fairness in your relationships. Okay, this is what Spirit is saying. Like, this is what you're working on now. This is where you're at now. Because everyone has to have a like-minded experience. So where you're at is like, there needs to be like-minded experiences. If you're around somebody and you're calling them friend or whatever you're calling this person, it has to be a like-minded experience. Everyone has to be like-minded. Okay? So meaning like where you're at, you're on a level where there has to be there has to be clear energy where no resistance, no control, because everyone is in control of themselves. No cords, because everyone is validating themselves. No one belongs to nobody. You know what I'm saying? This is the energy and the level where you're having to get to. You're having to realize that you belong to yourself. You've gained full control and power of yourself. And maybe this is where a lot of some people like the Chosen, maybe you're in this space of trying to figure out like, what does a true relationship entail? Because if you have full validation of yourself and that person has full validation of their self, how do you both come into agreement with you both validating, like, you know, what does that, how does that look? You know, how does that look? Maybe that's what you're trying to figure out, because in your past connections, maybe there is always some form of control or someone wanting to, you know, dominate, or, you know what I'm saying? Like role player. I don't know. But what I'm seeing here is like there's someone's needing to learn how to like release. There's some resistance here that someone may be having. They're needing to free themselves. They're losing control, trying to gain power, but they don't have power over themselves. So with the Ten of Cups, this is your wish fulfillment. Gaining full control. This is you gaining substance. Like you actually being very confident within self. Having control over self. Because, you know, the King of Cups represents someone who is emotionally in control. very understanding. You're in control of your emotional side, your emotional life. You're a good friend. Can you honestly say you're a good friend? Can you honestly say that you really work with others without gossiping or talking about someone behind the back? No shade, but this is where a lot of the chosen beings are. This is where they want to be. There can't be a relationship where there's like, not saying that I ain't talking about somebody behind their back before, but honestly, when I did it, I recognized it, and it was like, no, that's not good. I gotta call that out, because where you're at is you're wanting to call out what is not righteous. Okay, and so someone, this is someone stressing because maybe they feel like they didn't do that. It's okay. You could do it. You could do it over. I've been a bad friend and I've been a good friend, So what I'm seeing here is like someone's stressing. So there could be, Five of Wands energy where someone's needing to release anger. There's a lot of anger. Someone's feeling upset. They're losing all self-control at this time. Five of Wands energy